Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, it's Irad, and so today we are going to have a look at some fascinating new insights shared by Declan Holmes of CIG about crafting, blueprints, and land claim raiding in Star Citizen, or at least in the future of Star Citizen. These clarifications shed light on how base building, resource management, and persistence will work as the game moves closer to its fully realized simulation in 1.0. We also have the first Star Citizen 4.4 PTU evocati build that came out, and we are also going to have a look at what's available with this first patch. So let's start with crafting. In the upcoming tech preview, the Fabricator will be able to draw resources directly from your location's inventory, as long as it's situated within your hangar. That means if you have materials stored there, the Fabricator can access and use them without having to transfer them manually. However, beyond this initial phase, the crafting system will evolve, and in future iterations, the Fabricator will rely on what's stored aboard ships, drawing from the cargo grid or ship inventories. This shift signals a more integrated system where your fleet and base inventories become truly interconnected within the game's economy. Next, we're going to talk about blueprints and resource persistence, which are about to become central to the long-term player experience. According to Declan Holmes, blueprints will persist through patches, ensuring your work isn't lost between updates. However, they will not be permanent in the same way that event rewards are. The ultimate goal for Cloud Imperial Games is to convert all cosmetic items into blueprints. Once that transition happens, cosmetics will no longer exist as physical items in a specific location. Instead, they will be permanently account-bound and will persist through wipes. This means that if you've earned or purchased a cosmetic skin, you'll be able to reapply it indefinitely. What's even more exciting is how this applies to armor and gear. A cosmetic blueprint allows you to apply that visual style to any compatible item through the crafting interface. For example, if you've earned a special event skin for your armor but later craft or acquire a superior version of that armor, you will be able to apply your event skin to it with ease. This system merges personalization with progression, ensuring that the visual identity you've built in Star Citizen can evolve alongside your gameplay. Now let's move on to one of the most anticipated aspects of player progression, land claims, and especially raiding. Declan clarified how these systems will function across shards and regions. A land claim is region-specific, such as, for example, Europe, but it's replicated across all shards within that region. This means that if you build a base and make it publicly accessible, that base will appear across every shard tied to that regional server. The inventory stores and services attached to your base will be synchronized across all of them, allowing consistent access no matter what shard a player is on. However, raiding introduces an important limitation for balance and fairness. Raids only occur on a single shard at a time and are dynamic. If the base owner is online and present at their location, then their shard becomes the active instance where a raid can happen. Players attempting to raid the same base from another shard will be prompted to transfer to the correct one. Similarly, if allies or org members arrive to defend the base, they will automatically be transferred to that same shard to ensure both attackers and defenders participate in the same event. This approach ensures fair play, synchronizes activity, and prevents exploits across multiple shards. Next, let's talk about the first patch of Star Citizen Alpha 4.4 PTU, which just entered evocati phase. We're going to talk, of course, about the biggest highlight, which is the Nyx system. For the very first time, indeed, players can access the Nyx system through the new jump points implemented in this test phase. This version of Nyx includes Delamar and its iconic city of Levski, along with the new inter-system travel points linking Nyx to Stanton and Pyro. However, it's important to know that Nyx 1, Nyx 2, and Nyx 3, the system's three main planets, are not yet included in this build. This early iteration focuses on testing the transition between systems and evaluating the initial performance of cross-system hauling and exterior freight elevators, although feedback on those features isn't being collected just yet. It's clear here that CIG is carefully introducing Nyx step by step, prioritizing stability and core functionality before expanding to the rest of the system. Moving to ships and vehicles, well, there have been some notable changes affecting point defense turrets, missiles, and overall flight dynamics. The alpha damage output for PDTs has been reduced by 50%, which translates into a significant decrease in their overall damage per second. This adjustment is balanced by a reduction of the PDT's mass, as their previous weight was considered too high. However, these tweaks are likely part of CIG's ongoing efforts to fine-tune ship combat balance and improve overall performance during large-scale engagements. Missiles and torpedoes have also been rebalanced in this patch. Missile health has been reduced by roughly the same percentage as the PDTs, and also torpedoes, on the other hand, have seen a smaller reduction, with their health lowered by about 1/3. These changes are designed to make missile defense interactions more dynamic and ensuring that point defense turrets remain effective while avoiding situations where they could obliterate missiles way too easily, as well as enemy ships, especially NPC ships. This is a sign, of course, of CIG's ongoing work to achieve a fair and technical balance between offense and defense in ship-to-ship combat. The update also introduces several tuning improvements to specific ships. The F8 Lightning has received a notable buff, increasing both its forward Gs and roll angular speed, making it even more agile in combat. The Envel Hawk and Envel Arrow, as well as the Xperia Scythe, have been receiving some minor adjustments to their angular accelerations, providing a smoother and more responsive flight experience. Meanwhile, ships classified as medium interceptors such as the Saber Raven, the Firebird, the Buccaneer, the Herald, and the Mantis have received subtle tuning improvements to their overall flight performance, bringing them more in line with their intended handling characteristics. And so that wraps up the latest information shared by Declan Holmes on crafting, blueprints, and land claim raiding, along with key highlights for Star Citizen Alpha 4.4 PTU. We now have a clearer picture on how fabrication and resource management will connect to player hangars and ships, how cosmetic blueprints will persist through wipes, and how regional land claims and shared base raiding will operate in practice. On the gameplay side, the first Nyx build introduces Delamar and Levski to the Persistor universe, while ship and combat updates refines are also coming in, especially regarding pawn defense turrets, missile, and several interceptor class ships. As always, these changes are part of an ongoing testing, and more updates are expected as the PTU cycle continues. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for further coverage of Star Citizen development. As always, a special thanks to my Patreon members, including Dr. Frobin, Sokar Tassisius, Shadowrai, Zero Kosher, and Ducky to Ducker for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I have been Irad. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.